The Denver Broncos quietly just got some good news before a must-win game against the New England Patriots on Christmas Eve at Mile High. And the reason I say that it's quiet good news is because that's how it feels right now in Broncos country. It feels very quiet. All of the excitement from our 5-game winning streak seems to be going, and the excitement seems to have been replaced with a notion of cynicism, of negativity, of woe is me, of, oh, the typical Broncos breaking our hearts again. And I just don't understand where that's coming from, that we have a new coaching staff, a new leader, we are a new team, and to lump all of our emotional baggage on a team that isn't there anymore does not make sense to me. I think there is a massive difference between not controlling your destiny in the playoffs and being out of the playoffs. The fact is that if the Denver Broncos win all of our games remaining, we have an 80% chance of making the playoffs. And that is great news, because if I had an 80% chance of flipping a coin and having it be heads right now, and I told you, predict what I'm going to flip, you'd say, you're going to flip heads. And 80% of the time, you'd be right. And I think the same thing is true of the Broncos. Let's not have in our minds just this default that the Broncos aren't going to make the playoffs. We are, and I think the good news that we have before this Patriots game just shows you that we have a layup coming this week against the New England Patriots. And I don't say that in a way that I jinx us or for clicks or anything like that. We had great news about this game against the Patriots. You just saw this week in the way Sean Payton approached this week with giving us extra time off. We had that game Saturday night. We had the long road trip, some people in an RV, some people on airplanes, but we took tons of time off. We get to sleep in our beds, celebrate Christmas with our families. The Broncos players get to celebrate Christmas with their families, and then play a Herbertless, coachless, GMless, probably Keenan Allenless Chargers team at home again, and then go on a quick flight from Denver to Vegas and get revenge and get in the playoffs. And so Broncos country, let's ride, let's be excited. So let's dive into what is the quiet good news, and let's not make it quiet. Let's be loud and excited for this team, because it is a different team, and let's not lump 7 years of baggage on this team. So the great news is the New England Patriots had already kind of checked out on this year. You see a ton of their players already on long-term injured reserve who didn't even show up on this latest injury report. But the big news for the Denver Broncos is that they essentially are going to be missing. He's already been ruled out. They're going to be missing their Justin Simmons. Jabril Peppers has been a total difference maker. And if you look at one of their write-ups on here, he has played in almost all of their snaps, and the only strength of this New England Patriots team right now is its defense, and they're without their general, and it's not like they have a PJ Locke and Kareem Jackson type situation where they can fill in with other great safeties. They instead are going to rely on some rookies and a guy who hasn't gotten on the field much. And so that is great news for Russell Wilson and for Sean Payton. I look for them to quickly take advantage of that. The other great piece of news is the other one who's been ruled out for sure is their starting running back, Ramondre Stevenson, who had showed flashes last year of being like a dangerous dude. He is out as well. And so you now look at this team, they're without their best defensive lineman in Matt Judon. They're without their running back. They're without their starting quarterback was Mac Jones. That was their savior, right? They're without their best safety. And all signs also point to them being without their top pass catcher in general in Hunter Henry. They also are down their starting wide receiver in Juju Smith-Schuster, and he has officially been out. And then you just see all of these other people who are questionable. Is flying and playing at Mile High, playing in a snow game, is that where a lot of these players are going to come back? And so that right there, all of that just lines up for a win for the Denver Broncos. And when we do that, I hope we all are coming back on this bandwagon, because this is a game that when we saw it at the start of the year, we're probably nervous or excited about this game. And now no one's really talking about it because I think the Patriots have been so bad. The other great news is if you look at all of our injury reports, we have ruled officially out. Benito and Dulcich will not be making returns to the field this Sunday night, but I am hopeful that they will make a return maybe in that Chargers game. Maybe they get a couple snaps to warm up for the playoffs in Las Vegas at the end of the year. They're out. But if you look at the rest of these people, it seems like Samaje Perine is just getting some veteran rest. It sounds like he might need like a little knee scope at the end of the season. And then Cooper, remember, he's recovering from that interception when he got rolled up on his knee. He's going to be back. Our depth here, we had a lineman who made the squad, who a lot of people feel like could be a replacement for Garrett Bowles in a couple of years if his salary is one of the salary cuts we have to do, that you could see this undrafted rookie tackle stepping in perhaps, but we don't need him. And then we have we're going to definitely have Purcell back in this game as well. So if you look, we are just way less dinged up than the Patriots. We're playing at home. We're playing with a starting quarterback who, this is something that I have really struggled with, is the negativity and outright like hate for Russell Wilson. Like I get last year, there were some cringy moments where it was easy to be out on Russ and be out on Hackett, but Russell Wilson has not been the problem for the Denver Broncos this year. He is not Patrick Mahomes, and I'm not saying he's Patrick Mahomes, but I would just struggle with, other than Patrick Mahomes, what quarterback in the NFL do you think you could swap out with Russell Wilson and have us performing any better than we are right now? I think if we totally change our offense, someone like Lamar Jackson maybe, but other than maybe Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, I don't think any other quarterback in the NFL would be doing any better with the pieces and the talent that he has around him. Right now, he has the most fourth quarter comebacks. He's tied for the most game-winning drives. He's been sacked more than almost any quarterback in the league, and he's not hurt. He has the second highest touchdown percentage, and I just loved this. I don't know who Ryan's burner is, but he has some great tweets sometimes. But I truly think that Courtland Sutton is a great receiver, and I love him to death and want to get a Courtland Sutton jersey. He has some incredible catches, but we have one of the worst wide receiver rooms in the entire NFL right now. And look what Russ is getting out of that. We don't have a starting tight end. And we've talked ad nauseum on this channel about the importance for a starting tight end for a successful Sean Payton offense and how Russ succeeds so much with a tight end. And our offensive line has just given up tons of pressures. And I know a lot of people say that Russ spins into sacks and creates them when they're not there. But if you look at his pocket, more often than not, I feel like it's collapsing by the time he even has a chance to pick his eyes up. We see how many times Jerry Jeudy drops balls. And the fact is, Russell Wilson doesn't defend himself by throwing all of these stats out there. In fact, he takes all the hate, whether it's Sean Payton on the sideline, just kind of blowing his lid on him, or it's social media. He doesn't come out and knock down this, and so I feel like I'm doing it for him. Russell Wilson has not been the problem. On the other hand, he's not Patrick Mahomes. He can't make amazingness happen out of no talent, but I do not think he has been the problem. He has come out and he believes in this team. Sean Payton believes in this team. That's why he gave us all the rest time at the start of this week. We got guys jumping in RVs and doing 20-hour road trips to arrive at a game right before it starts. This team believes that we're going to make the playoffs. I hope y'all believe as well. Last little tidbit for this video that I just thought was crazy interesting is that the Broncos can make history in just a ton of ways. Make history by being one of the first 1-5 teams to make the playoffs. There's only been 4 other teams who've done it in NFL history, so obviously that would be history making. But if it is Bill Belichick's last year as a New England Patriot head coach, Bill Belichick has winning records against every franchise in the NFL except for 3. The Denver Broncos, he's 10-10 against. The Giants he's 4-4 against, and the Packers he's 3-3 against. He does not play the Giants or the Packers again this year. So the Denver Broncos, if we win on Christmas Eve, would be the only team in NFL history to have a winning record against the best coach in NFL history, according to a lot of people. I don't know if he's the best coach in NFL history. I'd take Shanahan any day. But fact of the matter is, Broncos have a lot to play for. We have a lot to believe in. Broncos country, we're making the playoffs. Hope you're with me. Let's ride.